Hello, and welcome back. I am your host, Mr. Noir, and this is episode 4 of Mr. Noir. And today we're talking about relaxation. As you can see, I'm in a very relaxed posture. I'm sitting in my wife's fancy chair, and just wanted to talk to you guys about what I do for relaxation, because I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but this day and age is pretty freaking stressful. And I find it extremely taxing most days, between the bills, the health, the politics, and just regular life stuff that happens every single day that we don't really get a break from. And I'm sure you're just as exhausted about this world we're living in as I am. I don't know what else to say aside from, let's jump in. I am always looking for better ways to relax than just sleeping. Sleeping is fun, and if you've got the right medications, it can be very enriching. But for me, I need more than just sleep. I can only imagine so much before I get tired of laying down. So, what I do for stress relief varies widely depending on my mood, and I'm sure it is just as variable for you as it is for me. So some of the main things I do to relax are reading, writing short stories. I love science fiction, so what I do most days is just read, watch TV, and very mundane things. And I'm no longer thrilled by the constant sameness of my life. And even as we're about to get into a new car, that will allow us to go other places, but not necessarily to relax at those places. And that is what I'm looking for. So I love reading, writing, I love swimming, drawing. I'm an artist. I love listening to and playing extremely obscure music. Sometimes I'll be listening to music from the 1920s, or I'll be listening to something a little bit newer like The Art of Noise. Recently, I've been listening to them from the Debussy album. And if you're at all a fan of The Art of Noise, you'll know that they're not a relaxing group, as you can imagine with a name like Art of Noise. There's just a lot of things that I really enjoy doing. I showed you my Moleskine notebook last episode, and I really love writing. I love being creative. Oh, the other thing that relaxes me is video editing. Come to find out, I'm pretty good at it. You haven't seen the full breadth and width of my capabilities on this channel because, it's not really necessary. I'm talking to you as a person. I don't need to impress you with style. I mean, if you'd like to see something a little bit more exciting, let me know. I'm happy to try it. But I love editing. I love filming. I love talking to you guys. And I find these moments to be very relaxing. The other things I like to do are create. I'm a bit of a tinkerer, and I've always been the creative type where, I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of a program called Blender, but it allows you to design in 3D. I used to be an automotive designer, so I know what I'm doing within 3D modeling. And last year, we got into a 3D printer, which has just been fantastic. There's a lot of things that relax me that I'm always trying to pursue. I'm trying to learn Spanish so I can speak to my wife a little bit better, and obviously other Spanish-speaking people. But that's my first language that I'm choosing. I use Rosetta Stone, I use Pimsleur, I use a lot of different methodologies to learn new languages. And some of them are more laid back and relaxed. I just am striving to find a more balanced, relaxed lifestyle. One of the things that I'm curious about from you guys is, what are you guys doing to achieve your full, bountiful relaxation? Are you doing Tai Chi? Are you doing yoga? Are you an internal relaxation person or an external relaxation person? Because I don't mind hiking. Now that my heart's a little bit better, I can go places, but I enjoy looking at sunrises and sunsets as much as the next guy. But even though we were living in Hawaii, on a beautiful mountain, Haleakala. I never went. I never had the desire to get up at the crack of dawn to see the sunrise. I would much prefer to get up and go to the beach versus go up to an ice cold mountain in the middle of winter just to see some snow. It wasn't worth it. So I'm curious about what you guys are doing to relax. You know, relaxing is something that's super unique to people, and it's a form of hedonism because it's not like anybody ever says, you know what, you should take a week off and relax. Nobody ever gives you time to relax and, you know, use some relaxation either for physical or mental recuperation, whatever you need relaxation for. Nobody is going to give it to you. You have to take it for yourself. The offer would be appreciated, of course, but I've never been offered, you know what, we'll pay you to take a week off, just relax. The last time I did that, I was getting a rod removed from my leg after getting it broken when I was 19. It was a good week off. I relaxed, but it wasn't a pain-free relaxation endeavor. There was some pain meds, there was some recuperation. That's not what I was looking for. I'm reading through my notes, and I usually don't take notes when I'm talking to you guys. I'm doing it this time because there's a lot of different points that I want to touch base with you on. And this episode isn't going to be hugely long. I'm more curious about getting ideas for my own relaxation from you. If you have anything to recommend, I'd love to hear it. I'm always listening to like relaxation music or hypnosis. You guys ever heard of the Monroe Institute? It's a very esoteric kind of thing where they teach you how to have out-of-body experiences. I'm interested in that. I don't know how relaxing it would be. It seems relaxing, but even though I've got the program, I have not committed to listening to it. But I've heard that it's a very interesting sensation to leave your body and go outside and look inside from either floating or walking around. I'm not sure what the nuance is for that, but I am curious about it. And it might be a relaxing thing. If you've ever investigated the Monroe Institute, take a look, tell me what you think. If you've tried it before, definitely send it my way, your thoughts and feedback, because any feedback you get about something that out there is interesting to me. There's a lot of different ways for people to relax, and some of them are positive and some of them are not. I mean, I'm sure people that are doing heroin are pretty relaxed, but that's not a long-term solution to trying to get a mental balance and mental health. I mean, it's not good for you physically either. And I used to be a bartender, so I used to make people forcibly relax by giving them alcohol. And for me, being a bartender was not a relaxing thing. The music I listened to at the club was very loud. It was jazzy and fun, but it wasn't a place where you could talk to somebody. Every time somebody spoke to you, they were always yelling at you. I wound up wearing earplugs because it was just so loud all the time. If you're from Detroit, you'll know the club I used to work at is called Floods. And I worked there for about 10 years and had a great time, made a ton of money. And to be quite honest, it was one of those times of my life where I was the most relaxed outside of work because I had financial freedom. I was making, and it doesn't seem like a lot today, but I was making $200 a day tax-free, and I was only like 21 years old, so I had all kinds of free time because, you know, I worked from 6 to 2, made $200, had most of the day off, and then I would go shopping and go live my life in a very relaxed, fun kind of way. As a matter of fact, one of the things I used to do was take girlfriends to the Renaissance Center for lunch and dinner. It was a great place to go for sunset because back when I went, the whole promenade rotated around. I don't know if it still does that. Like I said, if you're in Detroit, let me know. But going to a place where you can impress people. Firstly, I mean, I was a big boss back then, and look around the city and just absorb and have a nice drink and a good meal and impress the girl that you're with. It was sweet. And I'm not looking to pursue that again, but at the same time, I would love to have the time to do something really, really relaxing, really something that would allow me to let go, even if it's just for a week. Something where I'm able to talk to people, able to read or draw or create. There's so many things out there that people just don't do, and they end up with regrets at the end of their life because they had opportunities to have a really good time or a very meaningful experience, and they just skip over it because they're chasing the money, or they're chasing an idea, or they're chasing a person. And whether it's money or relationships or just a good idea, those things are great, and you should take a portion of your life to pursue them. We work for a third of our lives. We sleep for a third of our lives. And with the last third, we're supposed to come up with everything else. And that includes relaxation. And if we're not doing that for ourselves, we're burning the candle at both ends unnecessarily. I personally have done that for so many years, I can't even fathom what it's like to take time off. It's a foreign concept to me. And so I'm trying to get out of that and really focus on taking care of myself just for a little while, just so that the people that I interact with don't perceive me as somebody who's constantly stressed or complaining about whatever the situation might be. I am not known for being a super patient person, and it has probably hurt me on many different levels. I'm still working on it. Even in my 50s, I try to be more patient, and I try to be a little bit more introspective. It's hard, though. It's hard to turn that mirror back around and say, are you doing the right thing for yourself? I feel like 2026 is the year that I turn things around in terms of self-care. I'm vegetarian now. I was on the treadmill today, taking care of myself, and really thinking about different ideas, specifically things to better myself, better the lives of my family and my children. And I find thinking about different concepts relaxing, especially on a treadmill where you're just walking and thinking. It's better than sitting on the toilet and coming up with these ideas. But it is something that I find myself imagining and conceptualizing and thinking, how can I make their lives just a little bit better? So we're getting close to the end of the show. So I'm going to ask one more time, what do you do to achieve a relaxed state of being? Do you meditate? Do you do some type of exercise that is really grounding? I don't know what you do. And again, it's very personal. It's different for every single person, because we all need to sleep, we all need to relax, but we achieve that state in different ways, depending on what you do for a living, where you're living, how you're living. I mean, there's people that are overly relaxed. They've got so much relaxation that they're kind of hated by other people. Like the hyper wealthy who go to 4-star hotels all the time, or 5-star hotels, and are just pampered constantly, and get on their private jet and go somewhere to get a massage. It is exorbitant the way some people are able to relax. They take it too far. But on the other side of that coin, there's people that are really living rough, like in the hood, where they hear gunshots every day and they just can't relax because their lives are in danger and the lives of their children are in danger, and they can't decompress at all. They're constantly on edge. They're constantly burning, looking for just a moment of respite where they can say, I needed to calm down. I needed this time off. And I'm not surprised at all that you hear people just up and bouncing out of their lives, because given the right set of circumstances, I can see any one of us saying, you know what, this is too damn hard. I am no longer interested in living this way. And so they do something potentially dangerous for their overall livelihood and just abandon everything just to get to a isolation where they can relax and recenter themselves. Like, you hear people doing walkabouts for a year, and God bless them. I would love to be able to consciously take the time off to go roving the earth and going to different places to experience different cultures. That'd be fantastic. I don't know if I would find it medicinally rewarding from a relaxation standpoint, because travel can be stressful depending on where you're going. Like, I wouldn't go to India, and I wouldn't go to a lot of different places, but India was the first one that popped into my head. I just can't imagine. I see a lot of people from India coming here and just really chilling out, because life there can be so much harder than it needs to be. And so I'm not going to beleaguer India for too much, but what do you do? How do you find relaxation and peace in your life? If you're my age and you found the secret, please share it with me, because I would love to first embrace your idea, but also share it with my wife and let her know we could do this together. This is one of those things where we can grow as a couple and relax and find a circle of tranquility that we can sit or lay in. That'd be fantastic. So, obviously, here's the spiel again. Kindly like and subscribe, put on notifications. I've been getting pretty good at putting out episodes this week. I believe this is my second one, and it feels good. So, yeah, please like and subscribe. Tune in next time, and share. Obviously, if you're a new viewer, welcome. I appreciate you so much. But I would love to hear what you do to find and practice your relaxation techniques. I'd love to hear that. So, in the meantime, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate you. I'll talk to you later.